Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and this is my review of the Country Living Manual Grain Mill. This is not a sponsored post or anything. This is just something that I use here at home. We are a family of 11. We have 9 kids. We're also a military family. So we move a lot, and that's why this is clamped to a counter rather than permanently affixed to something, which would be a little easier to use. This has the hopper lid on it. The hopper lid is an accessory, but I like it because it keeps dust from getting into the grain hopper. I have it empty right now, and I'm going to show you how that looks. This is the regular auger. They also make a large auger, which is for grinding corn and beans. I have it. I don't really use it that much, mostly because I don't grind dent corn all that often for cornmeal. But it is available if you want to grind things like that. This is cast aluminum. They do make mills, manual grain mills that are cast iron. They're very, very heavy. They also cost about twice what this one does, so that's why I have this one. And if you don't mind seeing my messy house, I will show you the front of this. This is how you adjust the grind. You can see from how much of this peg is exposed that this is already on the finest setting. You turn it this way to make it more fine. You turn it this way to make it a coarser grind. And what you can do, particularly if it's tough for you to turn the flywheel, you can grind it coarsely, and then you can put it back through to get a finer grind. You can also grind it coarse to use the grain like in a muesli type cereal, or you can get cracked grain to put on top of artisan type breads. We are going to, let's see, let me show you the rest of the mill first. So this is the flywheel. You can see with the flywheel that it has a deep groove. And that groove is so you can motorize it. People have actual motors for them. They also do, setups where they attach it to a bicycle or a treadle sewing machine or, all sorts of different things to motorize it. But they do sell an actual motorization kit for this. This piece, this black piece, is the extension bar. I think it's called the power bar, actually, now that I think about it. It just gives you a little bit more of a mechanical advantage with this. I'm sorry about all the grain on the floor right there. I was just doing a oat flaker video and spilled some oats. It gives you more of a mechanical advantage, and it makes it easier to turn. But you have to make, it's like riding a bike in a low gear using this. It's easier, but you don't go as fast. I like it just because it's less tiring. I'd rather do something that's a little easier for a longer period of time than do something that's really difficult for just a couple of minutes. My husband feels the opposite. He likes having the handle up on the flywheel because it's not difficult for him. Like I said, we are a military family, and this is a rental house. So I have the clamp on here. This is the actual clamp that the company makes, and that's what it looks like from underneath. And it works pretty well. You do have to kind of keep tightening it over and over again. I'm hoping, in our next house, I can find like a permanent butcher block or something to attach it to. So this is the wheat that we are going to use. This is a hard white spring wheat. Your two main choices, there's all different things. I grind rye and farro and spelt and all different stuff. Einkorn is another good choice now that I think about it. But your two main choices are white wheat and red wheat. The red will give you more of like a nutty flavor, but it's a little bit bitter. So I prefer the white wheat instead. You also have the choice of soft white wheat. If you're baking bread, you need the hard wheat because it's a higher protein content. If you're baking something like muffins or cookies or biscuits, scones, anything like that, anything that is not a yeasted bread, the soft wheat will give you a better texture. The hopper can hold several cups of flour. I'm not sure exactly how much, maybe 2 or 3. I'm gonna try and do this without spilling it. We'll just put that much in for now. And I do have to refill this a few times to get the 7 cups of flour. And 7 cups of flour will take me a good 10 to 15 minutes of grinding. I'm going to start grinding, and all you're hearing, I'm going to try and do this while I'm still grinding. I'm sorry about the mess in the background, but that's what it looks like, and those are those burrs going up against each other. Let me see if I can kind of show you what this looks like while it's grinding. There we go. I'll just get all over my phone. That's a really unique angle. So it's like 2 metal plates that have these deep grooves in them, and they grind against each other, and it sort of has a shearing action on the grain itself. And again, this is set to the finest setting. So I'm going to come back over here, grind just a little bit more. I find that it takes me between 120 and 150 revolutions to get a cup of flour, to give you an idea of how much energy is involved. So you can see over here, they've kind of gone to the side. This has more bran in it, and that's like the outer layer of the wheat. You can sift this and remove the bran, and you'll get more of a white flour, more of like an unbleached white flour. It'll be lower in fiber, but it will be easier to work with, and in some people's opinion, tastes a little better because it's kind of a softer bread. And you can see more of the finer flour over on this side. And again, this is ground on the finest setting. I usually do not sift it, but I will sort of shake it a little bit, which gets the bran to come to the top. And I will just sort of scrape off with my fingers a little bit of the bran, just so it's not quite so heavy, and it'll make a little bit nicer of a loaf. To give you an idea of what you can make with that, again, with this white wheat flour, these are just some baguettes that I made the other day. They're a little hard. They'll last for a couple of days. This is the kind of bread that you can get with the hard white wheat. I will say that once you grind the flour, the ideal is that you're going to use the flour right after you grind it, but that's not always realistic. So so what you want to do, if you're not going to be using the flour within maybe 24 hours or so, you want to put it in the refrigerator or in the freezer to keep it from going rancid. It will become rancid very quickly because it does contain the germ, and the germ contains fat, and you're kind of breaking that open when you grind it, and you'll get that rancid flavor in your bread if you don't refrigerate your flour or use it within about 24 hours. So I think that's about all I have to say about the Country Living Grain Mill. I'd like to thank you for watching.